Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Louissa and my student number is 23020400080. And today I want to talk about what is happening, or maybe this is also a hot news in America right now. This is about Donald Trump tariff. So as we know before, a long time ago, Donald Trump planned to implement a tariff policy for America. After the public learned about this policy, there were many pros and cons. So this policy is probably about a tax that is implemented for the importer countries to America, so they will pay more to come to America, something like that. A lot of people opposed it because they believe it would give a huge impact on American citizens. But actually, what is tariff? Why do many people dislike this policy, and why would such policy be implemented in the first place? Is it just about they want to show Americans' power to the eye of the world, or there's something else? There's anything else, or something like that? And what are the effects if Donald Trump implements this policy? So we're gonna talk about these issues in this occasion. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about what a tariff actually is. A tariff is basically a tax that a government imposes in goods imported from another country. So in the video we can see that if a car from Japan costs $30,000 in the US, and then it is placed 10% tariff on it, then the importer must pay additional $3,000 in tax. The main purpose of tariff is to make imported products more expensive. That way, American consumers may prefer to buy goods made in the United States itself, since local products will look cheaper in the comparison. Tariffs are also meant to encourage foreign companies to build factories in America, which can create more jobs for Americans. However, there are two sides in the story. So, supporters of tariff argue that they protect domestic industries, boost the economy, and increase government revenue. On the other hand, critics say tariffs is actually hurt consumers because companies usually pass the extra cost of tariff into the public in the form of higher prices. In the other word, ordinary people ended up paying more for basic goods like clothing, electronics, or even household items. Like it was mentioned in the video, about 97% of clothing sold in America or in the US is imported from countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, or China, where production costs much lower than in the US itself. If the US puts a 10% tariff on clothing, prices like stores like Walmart or Target will immediately increase. Even though most of those clothes are still imported, this means higher inflation, and it becomes harder for ordinary Americans to afford things they need. So, the big question is, do the benefits outweigh the cost? Donald Trump insists that tariffs will have a positive effects on the US economy, may but many economists warn that it could backfire by making everyday life more expensive. In the end, tariffs are not simply about economics, they also send a political messages. They can be used to show strength against other countries, especially China, and to promote America First policy. But whether this approach to truly help American families or not is still a big debate. So that was about tariff. I'm sorry if there's so many mistakes in my video because I don't feel really really healthy. I'm sorry if I make mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.